If you're looking for cool videos, then you're at the right place. From PC to the console, and leave a smile on your face. Junkyard, junkyard. Get ready to watch a video from Junkyard.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, I have my Saint Croix fishing pole. It's a ultralight pan fishing pole, 6 foot, and well, needless to say, I screwed up. I broke the tip off. Obviously very devastated, but I'm at the point where I wanted to go ahead and see what I could do as far as repairing it myself. I can send this back to Saint Croix for repairs. It would be roughly start about $55 plus delivery or shipping charges. Plus I got to get a container for it because I don't have a container to ship it in. So overall it'll be about 85 bucks with the container to ship it in, I'm guessing. And well, I paid $109 for the pole. I could still use the pole as pretty much a 5-foot pole now, because just a little over 7, about 8 inches got knocked off. But I figured I wanted to go ahead and see what I could do as far as repairing it. So we have the tip here as well as the rod itself. I have it balancing on something where I can spin it. What I was thinking of doing, initially I just wanted to go ahead and see, alright, can I get it on here and see what I could do as far as putting some epoxy on there. Needless to say, that won't work. But I do have this jeweler's brass thread, and it's a good solid piece of steel or brass. And fortunately it fits in here like a glove. So there's a little tube in there, and I could go ahead and get that right inside here. So what I figured I'd do is put this in here like so, epoxy this in here, and then feed this into the other side. And thus, when it all glues up, we should be good. What's nice too is I could actually center it, pivot it, shape it, all that. So let's put it together and see what we can do with this. It's a 5-minute epoxy. We want to go ahead and put it together pretty quickly. I was doing research on deciding to use CA glue or epoxy, and epoxy tends to be the preference on most repairs. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to put the epoxy on the rod itself, because I don't want it to slip out of the sleeve ever. And I don't need a lot because it's a very tight fit. Okay. It's going in nice and neat. I'm going to push it all the way in, all the way to the end. And I'll take the excess off. You can feel it going all the way to gets to the tip. Okay, there, we're at the tip. Okay, and I'm going to take that off. And then what I want to do, put it all on this part too. Now it may end up messing the tip up as far as the action. I don't know. You know, this is an experiment. You know, for me, you know, I'm a shop guy, so I don't want to needless to spend more money than I need to. And we're going to push this in here. Guys, I'm getting glue all over this real quick. I want to change the gloves real quick. Okay, let's take that excess off. But I do want a little bit, I want it to glob a little bit there. Okay, that's good. Now what I want to do is make sure that we have this properly, obviously configured. As you can see, it's a bend, but it's metal, so the steel in there, so we can shape it, center it, shape it, make sure that's straight. It is not straight. There we go. Rotate it. Because what's nice about that little metal part, it actually helps keep it the shape I'm trying to get it to dry to. Alright, I think that's pretty good right there. I want to make sure there's a good chunk of epoxy in the crack. Now if that ends up not holding, what I will end up doing is putting some pieces of brass on the side and wrapping it with some thread. Oh, that's good, that's straight. Alright, we're going to let that sit and dry and see how it comes out. Alright guys, so it's dry. It's been drying for a few hours. I came back and it's in there, it's not going anywhere, but unfortunately it didn't hold. So what we need to do, what I want to do is I'm actually going to cut off this eye here, and I'm going to reinforce it with thread. I'm going to see if that works. If not, well, then I'm out of ideas. I want to cut into it. You see the epoxy that they used. I'm not cutting into the wall, I'm just cutting the old epoxy off. There we go. Got it. Okay. So now, I'll clean all that off. Alright. So then what I want to do is just put this as part of a brace right here. Just going to move it up. And I also have these other brass pins which are a little bit thicker than the wire. And we're going to make a little bit of a brace around it. Again, I'm not really optimistic that all this is going to work, but you know, it is what it is. It's an expensive rod, and let's see if we could fix it. Okay, so I got the eye in the vise grips here. I'm going to put a little bit of CA glue on there, put it right where I want it, right. That's it right there. That's activator, and it's on. Okay, so we got that on there, good. Then we're going to take this pen, do the same thing. Right on top. Hit it with the activator. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, now that's a lot stronger in that regards. Then what we want to do So now the thread is locked into place. We're just going to work the thread out. Away, part of the place of the whole hole here. Keep pushing it a little bit. It's like a splint, pretty much what we're doing here. And then we're going to put the epoxy all over that. And all we can do is hope it works. If it doesn't, then I retire the rod. Okay, now we're pretty much got to the total eye of it, and we're going to go around the other side now, all the way up. Basically follow that brace to keep that splint in place. And the whole thing here. Did that work? You gave it the college, right? Okay. Okay, we got some. Now what I want to do is fill that all up with epoxy here. It's definitely not as pretty as it was, and we're not going to have the same action as we did. But you know what? The line goes through here, and we get the bend up here, so we'll see what happens. All right, I'm going to spin this a little bit, so make sure it does not clot up or drip. Then we're going to let that dry, and again, it's a 5-minute epoxy, but it doesn't completely cure for about 24 hours. So, all right, everybody, it has been a few hours now. Again, this is I still want this to dry another 48 hours or so. It's blotchy, it's not pretty, but it's holding. You know, where before when I went like this before, and unfortunately I did not do it on camera, and I wish I did. I went like this before I had the extra braces, and it just snapped. Now I put some pressure on here, and I'm not putting a ton of pressure. You know, this is my panfish. You know, I use 2-pound test on this. I go for crappie, I go for bluegill, I go for bait fish. So we'll see what happens. Obviously the true test is when I get out there and I do some fishing. But I'm happy. I'm very happy with it. Again, I'm not happy with how it looks. I don't know if you could see that. It's pretty blotchy, pretty heavy. So I'm going to assume it's going to take away a little bit from the play in the rod itself. It's not 100% like it was. Well, it broke. But with the extra support, again, I did move that eye up a little bit. I moved the eye up a little bit, and I put that extra piece of brass reinforcement, wrapped it, as well as put epoxy on it. So, well, we'll see how it fishes. If there's an update by then, I will go ahead and put it in the comments to let you guys know if it broke or if we're successful. And but nonetheless, I'm happy with how it came out. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, please make sure you put them down below. Please remember to subscribe. I have 1,000+ videos on this channel, from old gaming videos to tutorial videos to cooking videos to shop videos to fishing videos. This is a smorgasbord channel, so please take the time, go through all of them. All my videos are not going to be for all of you, but I have lots of videos for one of you all throughout the whole repertoire of videos. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Needless to say, keep fishing.